Hi, my name is PolishLynx. Welcome to Homeward. Let me put the headphones on. Okay, ready. I woke up early the next morning and got ready to go to school. There wasn't any movement coming from Sarah's room. I guess she was going to skip today too. Deciding to leave her alone for now, I walked out of the house and went to school. Just as I walked out, I was greeted with a familiar face. Oh, it's Riku. Good morning. Oh, Nonami. Seeing her so soon caught me off guard. Good morning. Our up early today said to check how you were, cause you were sick and all, but it looks like you've already gotten a little better now, huh? Yeah. Well then, let's go! Nanami's eyes glowed with happiness as she wrapped our arms together. Nanami. I thought we'd try walking to school with our arms crossed. Don't you wanna? Sure. Nanami smiled as we walked together, our arms together. I never thought this day would ever come. Our high school life sure got a little brighter real quick, didn't it? Hey Riku, why don't we do something fun sometime? Why not? I got it! Why don't we go to the amusement park this weekend? This weekend, huh? I still had time left for that, but still, I needed to tell Nanami about what had happened. It was just telling the happy face of hers that I was going to live forever in just 2 weeks was impossible. I tried my best to nod my head and smile as Nanami cheerfully talked all the way to school. Nanami poked her head in my class near the beginning of lunch period. Oh, Riku! She marched over and slammed a small tower of bento boxes on my table. Here you go. 2 for you, 2 for me, and 2 for Harchan. Don't you think that you're overdoing it a little? Yeah, no, thanks. I had all this time and made us something really good. I opened my lunchbox. An extravagant looking bento awaited me inside. There were even bamboo shoots cut into the shape of hearts. I smiled in embarrassment as I grabbed one with my chopsticks. What you think, Riku? Pretty impressive, huh? Yeah, it must have taken a lot of work. Anything for my Rikun. Okay, I felt my ears get hot when Nanami grabbed my arm and gave it a hug in the middle of the whole class. Have some decency. I look at Haruka for help. No chance for being lovely. Hey, weren't you the class representative? It looked like Haruka was going to let Nanami off the hook since she was her best friend. Come on, dig in. Thanks, Nanami. I grabbed a sausage and put it into my mouth. As expected, it still had the same great taste. By the way, Nona-chan, do you think you can go shopping with me this Saturday? Saturday? Sorry, I think I'm gonna be a bit busy. Oh, okay. Saturday, huh? That was when Nanami said we'll be going to the amusement park. Yeah, sorry, I have a date with Riku then. I hope she doesn't keep calling me that. Yeah, I see. Have fun then. To make up for it, why don't we check out the new store at the mall on Sunday? I'll have some time off during the afternoon. We should do that. The 3 of us continued talking through the lunch break. Somehow, being with Nanami was beginning to make me happier, even though I had no reason to be. I guess her cheerful personality couldn't help but rub off on me. Still, I couldn't forget that I had to tell her that I was going to leave. I couldn't keep something that important a secret from her, no matter how much I didn't want to accept it. Before I knew it, the lunch break was over and it was time for classes again. I walked with Nanami out of the kendo dojo after practice ended. That sure felt good. Nothing like a good workout to get the blood pumping, huh? Yeah. Well then, let's get going home. Nanami grabbed me by the arm and leaned into me as we walked out the school ground. She continued to talk cheerfully as we walked home. When we finally arrived at my house, I knew I couldn't hide the truth from her any longer. I stopped and faced her. Hey, why don't you walk with her to her house? Hey, Nanami. Yeah, Riku? I have something to tell you. To tell the truth, so do I. You do? What is it? I was really happy today. To tell the truth, I've really liked Riku for a long time, ever since we were little, I guess. I was really relieved that you picked me for the dance. If you had gone out with someone else, I don't know what I would have done. It feels like a happy dream being able to go out with Riku like this. I guess I always wish something like this would happen. So, thanks. Let's have a lot of fun together from now on. Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh crap, now that's problematic situation. So, what did you have to tell me? To tell the truth. I just couldn't tell her the truth. Not after she said that. I felt the same weight about Nanami over a really long time too. Oh, really? Yeah, really. Yeah. It feels like some dream. Hey Riku, you'll be with me forever, right? Of course. Inside it felt as if my heart was being mangled. I had intended to come here to tell Nanami the truth. Instead, all I could do was just tell her one lie after another. But I saw Nanami smile and imagined how devastated she would be if I told her that I was leaving. I just couldn't bear to see that smile disappear. All of a sudden Nanami went forward and kissed me on my cheek. Hey, thanks Riku. In shock I reached up to where she had kissed me. Before I could say a word, Nanami turned around and skipped away. Ah, Nona! See ya tomorrow! And with that she was gone. That night I crashed in my bed at a loss for what to do. I was in this too deep. There was no way that I could ever tell Nanami the truth. The thought of how shocked and betrayed she would feel if I told her that I was going to leave her again was just too horrifying. If only I was just a normal high schooler, if only my parents weren't divorced and I actually had a real home in Japan, then none of this would have to happen. Wait a second. Now that I think of it, I know. You said there were your grandparents' house, right? And I know they were dead. But maybe their house was still available for you. Somehow. I know that's not a good thing to think about, but still, maybe. Was I really destined to wander the world forever, alone? I just want to be with Nanami. If I didn't have to leave Japan in just weeks, I would have gladly promised to be with her forever. But under the current situation, I knew that it was going to be a promise that I could never keep. Just then, I heard my door creak open. Sora, is that you? I heard the sound of footsteps as Sora walked into my room and sat down on my bed. I pulled myself up and faced her. Where were you today? I went to school. It was lonely without you. Sorry. Hey, why didn't you come to school with me tomorrow? We still can't ignore our friends, Sora. They really do care about us. So Riku cares more about his friends than his sister, huh? It's not like that. I still really care about you. That's why I want you to come to school with me. Oh my, isn't Oni-chan's life so grand? What with his pretty girlfriend and all? You can just forget all about me and leave me alone. It's not like that, okay? Sorry, I said too much. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. It just hurts thinking that in just a week I will never see anyone again. I know. I don't want to see anyone again because it's too painful. I should never have left my room at the beginning of the year. That way I would be in so much pain now. I regret everything. Sora clutched my bedsheets in her fists. You know, Sora, I feel the same way. There's really no point to getting close to people, huh? Just when it feels as you're getting to know someone, it's always time to leave. All friendships do is just make saying goodbye even more painful. You just want things to end happily, but it never happens. I guess the world just doesn't have any happy endings for us, does it, Sora? Shh. You, moron! Sora flayed her arms at me and began to hit my chest. Can't you see that I want you to disagree with me? What are you doing agreeing with me like this? Unforgivable! Unforgivable! I hate you for being so much like me. I wrapped my arms around Sora and laid her down beside me on the bed. Shh, Sora. In my despair, I chuckled hopelessly to myself. That's why they call us siblings, huh? I reached down and held Sora's hands. You're definitely my sister, Sora. You're right. I really am stupid for ignoring you. I promise I will solve things with Nanami soon. After all, I don't think I will ever see her again in just a few days now. And then I'll spend all the time I have left with you, okay? I patted Sora on the head. Just give Oni-chan a little bit of time. It's really tough. Hey Riku. Let me stay with you just for tonight. What? I'll be right here for you, Sora. Thanks. I wrapped my arm around Sora and waited as she slowly drifted off to sleep. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find a good moment to tell Nanami that I was going to leave all week. On Friday night, I gave into my frustration and phoned Haruka for help. Riku-kun still hasn't told Nona-chan? Yeah, it's just... Nami always seems so happy, it's just impossible telling her that I'm going to leave when she's so oblivious. Can understand that Nona-chan does tend to get stuck in her own world from time to time. What do? Haruchan, Nami's going to take us out on our first date tomorrow. Well, you can't keep this a secret from her much longer, Riku. At this rate, you might never tell her. Can't you just move your ass? You know... Okay, why? I know. I wasn't ever in this situation. It probably is not that easy, but still, move your ass. You know where she lives and tell her there. God damn it. Just imagine how sad Nona-chan would be if you just disappeared one day. I really hope it wouldn't come to that. Maybe it would be a good idea to tell her as soon as possible. It's not good to lie, Riku-kun, even if you're doing it for her sake. You're right, Haruchan. Boom. I'll try to tell her as soon as possible. Don't worry, Riku-kun, I'm supporting you. Try your best. If you need any more help, then don't hesitate to call me again. Thanks. It's no problem. Tell me how tomorrow goes, okay? Okay, you've been helped, thanks. Oh, it's nothing. Then have a good night, Haruchan. See you, Riku-kun. The next day I arrived at the amusement park with Nanami. Wow, look, Riku-kun, check out all these people. As expected of the weekend, the park was packed with visitors. So, what are you gonna ride first, Riku-kun? I know the show. Why don't you pick? Alright then, how about it? Nanami pointed to the biggest, scariest looking roller coaster in the park. Wow, that looked pretty intense. That enormous thing, are you sure? Yeah, of course I'm sure. You're not scared, are you, Riku? Why would I be scared? Alright, then it's decided. Let's ride the roller coaster first. Hey, are you sure that's the first thing you want to ride for? Maybe we should ride something smaller to get warmed up. Well, don't you think it's a good idea to ride something really exciting first to get the blood pumping? Afraid that Nami would accuse me of being a wuss, I followed her and got into the line for the roller coaster. I totally did not want to look cordy in front of my girlfriend. Still, it was the first time I ever rode a roller coaster this huge. I've never ride so. We don't have this here, okay? Poland sucks. Nanami gleefully smiled and grabbed my arm. This is gonna be so much fun, Riku. Yeah. If my heart doesn't burst from the first drop, that is. Still, I couldn't help but sheepishly smile. Somewhere in my head, I had always wished I could come to the amusement park on a date. After all, wasn't that the dream of all guys? It kind of felt like an adventure, coming all the way out to the amusement park and riding this roller coaster with Nanami. With her, I never knew what was going to happen next, but somehow I could always be certain that whatever happened, it was going to be fun. I was filled with sadness when I realized that none of this could last. I had to tell Nanami about the truth, didn't I? But I didn't want to tell her right now. Not on our happy day together. I didn't have many of these days left. I had to treasure every moment of today. Hey, Riku, what's the matter? Huh? All of a sudden I realized that the line had moved up in front of me and I was standing everyone up. Oh, sorry. Riku, you sleepyhead. After a while, we finally reached the right station. My heart was beginning to thump. They seriously looked intense. I could hear the screams from the other riders in the distance. Come on, Riku, all the way to the front. The front? Yep, the view's always the best from there. But... Too late, and I was already lined up on the first car. Not wanting to get separated, I lined up beside her. Before I knew it, the car arrived with an enormous taka, what? As the station brakes applied and brought it to a stop. It was time for us to get in. I strapped myself into the safety restraints and put on the backup seat belts. What's the matter, Riku? To tell the truth, I don't think I ever rode a roller coaster this huge in my life. Really? Yeah. Don't worry, you'll be fine, Riku. At the sound of a buzzer, the car departed the station. I could hear my heart pounding in my chest as the car made its way up the lift hill. I looked to my side and saw us getting higher. Higher! And even higher off the ground! Hey, Nanami. Yeah? Nobody's died from riding a roller coaster before, right? Actually, I remember hearing in the news one time about someone who died while riding a really scary one. Really? Don't worry, Eva. I think that person was 70 years old or something. The chain lift continued to clank. Oh boy, we're pretty high now. I bet we could see our school from here. I wasn't about to gaze that far into the horizon, so I gave it a pass. Finally, we reached the top of the lift hill. I grabbed onto Nanami's hands. Nanami? Yeah? Just remember, no matter what happens. The car dipped downwards as we began our descent. That I will always love ya! I felt my insides get slammed to the back of the chair as we plummeted towards the ground. Just as the slope ended, we flew into a tunnel. Before I could even react, we roared into a pair of loops at the moment the tunnel ended. I could hear Nanami laughing hysterically beside me. Was my terror really that funny? The ride took a sharp turn and entered a sloping helix. I cringed as I felt myself get pushed into my seat. Before I knew it, we arrived back at the right station. I rested my head against the headrest. Finally, I began to laugh as well. I couldn't believe that I was actually still alive after that. Was it fun, Riku? Riku? Yeah? The ride's over now. You don't need to grip onto my head anymore. All of a sudden I realized that I was nearly crushing Nanami's hand with my grip. Oh, sorry. Now, Riku should decide what to ride. Well then, let's try the inverter. Good choice. We rode many more rides after that and had a fun day at the amusement park. By now the sun was beginning to set. I guess we'd have to get going home soon, huh? I sat with Nanami on a bench in the park's flower garden, eating our dinner together. Nanami spoke cheerfully while gulping down her chili dog. Chili dog? As expected, food like this tastes so much better at the amusement park. I know, right? Check out how much grease is on my hamburger. I think I can just feel all the saturated fat flowing through my blood vessels right now. We finished the rest of our food and sat around the bench for a bit longer. Nanami leaned back and watched the sun set just beyond the rose garden. Satisfaction. Hey Riku, today was sort of fun, wasn't it? Yeah. It's hard to believe that it's always going to be like this from now. It feels like I'm in a dream. Yeah, what? But I knew that it was never going to be like this ever again in just a week. Because then I'll be... I had to tell her now, didn't I? Before Nanami fell even deeper in love with me, I had to stop everything before it was too late. Even if... While I was lost in my thoughts, Nanami leaned onto my shoulder and grabbed my hand. Hey, Riku. You wanna know a secret? Okay. I've never kissed anyone before. It felt as if someone had suddenly reached into my chest and squeezed my heart. Neither have I, to tell the truth. Well, congratulations, Riku. Nanami grabbed onto my shoulder and drew near me. Hey, you wanna change that today? Hey, let me give you my first kiss, alright? My heart pounded as Nanami's delicate lips approached mine. What do I do? What do I do? Under any other circumstances, this would have been the happiest moment of my life. Having my first kiss with my first ever childhood friend on our first date to the amusement park. Something like that was just too beautiful for someone like me. I held my head and pushed Nanami aside. Sorry, Nanami, I can't. I felt my eyes stink. Of all times too, I did not want to cry right now. Not after such a happy day. What's the matter, Riku? I thought... Sorry, Nanami, but... the truth... I felt a tear drip down my eye and onto my jeans. I quickly covered it with my hand, afraid that Nanami would see it. The truth is, I'm going to move again, in just 1 week. After this Friday, I don't think we'll ever see each other again. What? I want to tell you sooner, but I was so happy with you, I couldn't bear to. At that moment I was able to speak. All I could do was cover my face with my hands and bend down, horrified at my life. Rick, you're joking, right? This is just some funny joke, right? Hey, you can't say this is serious. But it was obvious from myself that this was all happening for real. But we just get together. For Rick to leave me again. I don't want that. I'm sorry. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Monami stood from where she was sitting and stamped away, in shock at what was happening. Riku, you promised! You promised you'd always be with me, didn't you? I'm sorry. I lied. I'm sorry, Nanai. But I think it's over now. No! Nanami ran away from me, her scream etched into my memory forever. I cramped my side on the bench. Now I had done it. Our first date, probably our entire relationship, was ruined. But I guess there was no possible way that things could have ended any differently. This was, after all, the story of my life. I don't know how long I stayed there on that bench. I closed my eyes and lost myself in the darkness. Riku-kun? I must be going crazy. Just now I thought I heard Haruka's voice. All of a sudden I felt somebody touch my face, opened my eyes. So it wasn't my imagination. What was Haruka doing here? I'm sorry, Riku-kun. I was really worried, so I was following you around all day. I saw everything. I was lost too deep in my misery to care anymore. Sorry. Come on, Riku-kun, we have to get out of this weather. I felt Haruka tug onto my arms. Listen, leave me alone. Hurry, or else you'll catch a cold. Who cares? At Haruka's insistence, I managed to pull myself up and walk mumbly by her side. I just let my mind go blank and followed Haruka. Why? I found myself inside the carriage in the Ferris wheel. I guess this was the nearest place where we could be dry. Haruka undid the ribbon and squeezed it, causing a stream of water to drip down to the floor. So wet. Why do I have a bad feeling that she will somehow try to use this situation? I guess sent out to the dark horizon as rainwater ran down the window pane. Haruka walked over and sat down beside me. Riku-kun, are you okay? Of course he's not okay! A long silence came in the carriage. All I could hear was the sound of the rain hitting the roof. All of a sudden I felt something warm drip down on my hands. I looked up to see that they were Haruka's tears. I heard her crying. Because Riku-kun's... Sorry. It really is hopeless. There is nothing I can do anymore. But you still can't give up, Riku-kun. It's too sad. I thought our happy days would continue, but you know, I was just being stupid. I should have known something like this would happen. All the time, it feels like all getting close to people does is hurt you. It hurts when you have to say goodbye, when you try your best, but it's still impossible to see each other again. But then, it also hurts to be alone, so you get close to people despite knowing this anyways. You have some happy days, and for a moment you hope that things might turn out differently this time. But in the end, it's all I should have known all along. At least, now that this happened, I don't have to miss Nanami. When we leave behind happy memories, then all we want to do is return to them. But when we realize that those are times that we've lost forever, it's unbearable. At least, if we leave behind only painful memories, then we're glad that we never have to return to them. I'm relieved that Nanami hates me now. Riku-kun! What are you doing? The Riku-kun that I know would never say something like that. Because he loves Nona-chan. Even more than me, or anyone else on this earth. Okay. So, he can't say things like that, I won't allow it. Can't you see, you're everything to Nona-chan. That's why you can't give up on her ever, not as long as I'm around, okay? I believe in Riku-kun, he can make everything right again. So please don't give up! Sorry, Haruchan. But I don't know what to do. You have to return to her. But I don't even know where she went. I'm sure you know where she went. That place which is the closest to her heart. If you really love Nona-chan, then all you can do is try your best and hope for a better tomorrow to arrive. If you give up now, just expect nothing but the worst from now, then maybe you really might accidentally cause the worst to happen. So, hurry Riku-kun, I'm sure Na-chan is waiting for you, at that place. Aye. Before I could finish, Haruka wrapped her arms around me and embraced me tightly. If Riku-kun doesn't do this, then I'll be in a tight spot too, you know? Huh? Slowly I could feel my confidence beginning to return. Haruka was right. It was still too soon to give up. What was I thinking before? There was still plenty of time to make this right again. As long as there was still just a single second left that I could spend with Nanami, I couldn't give up. Soon the ride ended and it was time for us to leave. I grabbed my coat and ran out. Haru-chan, thanks. Good luck, Riku-kun. After waving Haruka goodbye, I ran out the park double time and tried my best to catch up with Nanami. Nanami, I was coming for you! I did it. You did what? I ran up to the old hilltop of our childhoods, fighting against the rain. She had to be there. I was certain of it. This was the spot where everything began. Where I had first met her, so many years ago. And where I had met her again, for the second time in my life. I slipped on the wet ground and scraped my head against the asphalt road. Undeterred, I picked myself back up and ran up the hill as fast as I could. My chest was heaving and it felt as if my heart was about to burst after running for so long. But I knew that tonight I couldn't stop. I had to find Nanami. Finally I approached the summit. I crashed in the small park where that lone tree was located. Nanami! By now I was doubled over, panting for breath. I fought through the pain and looked around for her. Finally I saw her, standing in the middle of the park. I stumbled over to her. We were both soaked to the bone. So a small miracle really had happened. She was here. I fell down onto my knees on the muddy ground before her. I'm sorry, but I was wrong. I promise, no matter what takes, we'll really be together forever. Because we promised, didn't we? That's why I will say it again. At the place where we met, and where all of this began. I really love you, Nanami. I won't ever leave you. I'm sorry for not saying it earlier. Nanami walked from where she was standing and collapsed to her knees in front of me. All of a sudden I felt her arms around me. I patted her on the head as she cried into my chest. Sorry. The two of us sat there, the rain still pouring on us. I closed my eyes. Suddenly it didn't feel as cold as before. Sorry, Riku. Whenever I think of you leaving again, I don't want it. I don't want it. Hey, Nanami. My hand trembled as I placed it on her cheek. Was it because it was so cold? But my heart was beating so fast that I could hardly feel the chill. Riku, I love you. Nanami closed her eyes and opened her lips to me. Slowly I leaned forward, terrified of each centimeter that passed as we got closer. My heart was pounding and I felt short of breath. Had I forgotten to breathe? Just when I thought I was going to faint, our lips met. My heart squeezed, forcing me to gasp. I felt this soft touch of Nanami's lips against mine. I had been looking forward to this moment all my life. I had dreamed about my first kiss almost every night before I went to sleep. I had expected something wondrous, like the fulfillment of a great lifelong goal. But now, I realized all it was just a kiss. I withdrew my mouth, exhilarated but disappointed, overjoyed but unfulfilled. For a moment we looked at each other. Was that really it? There had to be more than that. We leaned forward again and kissed for the second time, trying to find that moment we had dreamed of all our lives. Maybe I would find it if I searched deeper into Nanami. What? The sensation of Nanami's tongue filled me, her bittersweet taste. The desire to become one with her overwhelmed me and I wrapped my hands behind her head, pressing us close together. I heard Nanami gasp softly as our tongues lapped against each other. Finally, when we felt for sure that we had had enough, we separated. Nanami looked at me in the eyes and embraced me. Riku, stay with me. I will. Even though I was soaked, I now felt a sense of newfound determination. There was no way that I was going to just live without trying. There was still something I could do to stop this. I had to speak to my father. Yes! Let's fight! In the next episode, hope you enjoyed this one, which was terrifying at some point and ended pretty well, so maybe we can do this! See you in the next one, bye!